called Special Act District. So it's a district for kids who need further services. And I'm also the union president in that district. So we have a lot of kids from Yonkers, Westchester County, a lot from the city as well. I've also served as the basketball coach for the last 9 years at Saunders High School, which certainly gives me insight into the Yonkers School District and the lack of funding that affects our kids on a daily basis. I've done a ton of LGBTQ advocacy. I'm currently the co-chair of the mayor's LGBTQ advisory board. I serve on the board of directors for the Sports Equality Foundation, the LGBT Sports Coalition. I work closely with Nike on their inclusion and diversity programs. I usually get out to Portland twice a year to run some of their programs. And I've also blogged for the Huffington Post Queer Voices. And one of the things I've been saying is along the way here, an openly gay coach, an educator, and an advocate would bring such a different perspective to Albany. It's something that just doesn't exist up there right now. So I think it would be able to give me a unique voice in the Capitol. The one thing in this room everyone knows, right? 2018, Trump's America, conservatives and corporate lobbyists are attacking us every day to line their own pockets. I think Shelley left, but we all know this from Shelley's race, right? We were running around, knocking on doors, fighting millions of dollars that were coming in. Really, at the end of the day, to help corporations and lobbyists. It was just disgusting, and with the grassroots of so many people in this room, Shell was able to win. So that was a beautiful thing. I think Vincent touched on it, certainly. The lack of funding in this school district is crime. Our kids get robbed on a daily basis. For the last 2 seasons, I've coached with a hammer in basketball practice. A hammer. Nails are coming up in the court. And I have to hammer nails down. By the way, my team has won 50 straight games in the city of Yonkers. We are the face of Yonkers sports, contrary to the football thing that everyone's parading right now. 50 straight games, and it's a crime. Status quo, Board of Ed, all these different people, we need change. We need to shuffle the deck in the city. We need to shuffle the deck now. All the different things, and I'm sure Nader will touch on this because he's done this for so long as well. Changing this formula, that's first and foremost. We have to get more funding in here, and when the money gets here, it needs to be distributed differently. First and foremost, our schools need more. You guys have no idea, and I can explain it later, what goes on dealing with my kids on a daily basis. But Rumor progressives, so many things that we need change. Voter reform, making it easier for people to vote. 41st state in the country right now. That needs to change. I had a young man 3 weeks ago go to register to vote, change his party to come help me in my campaign. Minority kid from Slowbomb. The DMV wouldn't let him because he had his car impounded or a license registration revoked. That's ridiculous. And once again, it's targeting on minority youth. That has to stop. Voter reform has to happen. Criminal justice reform, overcrowded prisons, people of color, low income, transgender people. These people do not receive the same equality as everyone else in our justice system. That needs to change absolutely immediately. I was with one of my former players at our LGBT event yesterday who just got out of jail. Great kid. The fact that he can now vote is a beautiful thing, and that needs to stay that way. The kid made a mistake and he got jammed up. Doesn't make him a bad person. So we need to make sure we elevate these voices. Obviously, as an openly gay person, human rights, gender didn't get out of the, or gender is a bill that's going to protect transgender people. It didn't get out of the committee in the Senate with Terrence Murphy. He didn't let it out of committee to protect people. They wouldn't let the ban on conversion therapy out of committee. It's disgusting. This state is supposed to be progressive, and because of the Senate, it's just not. It's just not. And of course, common sense gun laws, right? All this craziness going on, all these poor, our future being taken from us from gun violence. We need to raise the minimum age, banning the bump stock, better mental health checks. This thing that Cuomo's now going to put through is wonderful. Teachers can take guns or can recommend guns being taken away. I see my players more than their parents do in some cases. I know them better. So guess what? I should have the ability that if I have a kid that's threatened. So we need to make sure these kind of progressive things get passed. I've been endorsed by Run for Something out of Washington, D.C., a great progressive group this week. I was also endorsed, as Elliot was saying, by the Lower Hudson Valley Progressive Action Network this week, the biggest progressive group in New York State. There are more coming this week that I can't tell you yet. Don't worry, it'll be up this week. So there's some more progressive groups that are coming. There's no time for flip-flopping anymore, folks. It's over. You can't come up to this podium, you can't run around and take pictures and talk about, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, but for 5 or 10 years you weren't this. This is a time for real people. It's a time we need change, and we need change now. We need to shuffle the deck and make change. And you guys, everyone in this room knows that. Thank you very much. Any questions you have, please.